Hey, how's it going? This is Melinda and welcome to my channel. Today I'm very excited because I get to tell you about a nice set of speakers, do a review of the Vanguard Scouts by Veri-Fi Audio. And I'm also excited because a lucky viewer is going to also receive a pair of these speakers in a giveaway for free. So I'm excited to be able to do this giveaway, and I will leave all of the details about that a little bit later in this video. But I want to review the Vanguard Scouts. I'm also going to tell you the results of a blind test that I did with these Vanguard Scouts versus a different speaker that I already own. And just want to let you know about them and what my thoughts and impressions are. I will leave a link below to Veri-Fi Audio so that you can check out these speakers, get all of the specifications and the details you need if you're interested in them. And I'm also going to leave in the description of my video all of the gear that I listen to while testing and reviewing these speakers. So let's go ahead and get started with the review. These Vanguard Scouts are bookshelf speakers. They are small in stature, but they're really elegant looking. They're encased in a beautiful rosewood. What's really amazing about them is that they are $299 per set. So I'll be honest with you, because of the price point being so low, for one, I wanted to do this review because I want to be able to review all types of stereo equipment at all different price points, because my viewers and me, we're all different. And you know, some of you are younger and maybe you're just getting into vinyl collecting or streaming and you don't want to spend a ton of money. $299 is very affordable for a good set of speakers. Some of us maybe have smaller rooms. My room that I tested these in is a 13 by 17 room, so not extremely small, but some of us have smaller rooms. Some of us have tight budgets. Others of us have a lot of money but don't want to spend a lot when it comes to our stereo equipment gear. We're all different. And these are good speakers that I want to talk about. But let's go ahead and I want to share honestly a concern I had with starting to talk about these, you know, at the $299 price point. I thought, oh my, I'm used to listening to $3,000 speakers. Am I past the point where I can appreciate a speaker at $299? Maybe I'm just not going to be impressed enough to be able to do a review. Well, that quickly, that worry of concern, no, that went away really fast. My husband set up these speakers with me and stayed in the room as I put on the first song. You know, and like most speakers, there is a break-in time with these Vanguard Scouts as well. The more I listened to them, the better they got. But let me just share my first impression. I put on this record. It is Tango in the Night by Fleetwood Mac. This is the mobile fidelity version at 45 RPM. I love this album. If you do too, I highly recommend this one. It sounds so amazing. The originals are really good too, but wow, I've been very impressed with this. This has been a go-to record of mine for a while, so I put this one on. I love the song Big Love. When that song kicked in, my husband and I looked at each other, we're like, what? We couldn't believe the soundstage of these little beautiful bookshelf speakers. We were like, whoa, we couldn't believe it. And the soundstage is big. I was also really impressed because when I was reviewing and when I listened to these speakers, they were not hooked up to my super sweet Rel S510 subwoofers. Not at all. They were on their own. They had to stand on their own. But the bass was there and it was good. And of course, this beautiful guitar melody that sounded really good started coming in with a drum, a front center drum. And it was so punchy. In a good way, not boomy, punchy. I'm like, wow, these are really, really good. So after hearing Big Love with these speakers, I thought, okay, I've got this. I can do this review, because I was really surprised at how great these speakers sounded with that entire album. I sat there and listened to every song and enjoyed it all. So I've had these speakers for a while now, and I was listening to all kinds of music. So the records that I chose these are audiophile records, but I can tell you I listen to a lot, and the majority of my collection aren't audiophile records. They're just old vintage records that you would buy in, all the time. So let's go ahead and start though with, this is Cosmos Factory by Creedence Clearwater Revival, and as you can see, it's a little different version. This is from Analog Productions. They recently put out this box set, and it's of the greatest hits. It's a compilation of what most people would say are CCR's best songs at 45 RPM, and they're known to sound amazing, and they do. So I put on Run Through the Jungle first, and of course I was really amazed and impressed by how these speakers handled that deep bass. They sounded really good. And also really good drums and a punchy guitar. They sounded really good. There's a harmonica in that song that's really impressive as well and sounded natural. So I really enjoyed that. And of course I heard it through the grapevine. And again, same thing. Great bass, great imaging, large sound stage. These audiophile records are supposed to impress. And with these speakers, I was not disappointed. I still had those magical moments of, oh my goodness, this sounds so good. It didn't take away just because I had less expensive speakers. Here's another one that was really good that I wanted to test, and it's a great album, and I wanted to test these speakers with some orchestral music. So I put on Sinatra Strings. This is a wonderful sounding record. There are a lot of beautiful, it's sparse in some ways, but there's a lot of beautiful orchestral music, and it's just Frank in his finest, dead center. And with these speakers, I heard great details, very clean. The instruments were all very easy to spot and listen to and separate. They sounded very, very good. And then Frank, dead center, clean, beautiful sound. The song Stardust is always a highlight for me, and there's a beautiful violin. And I had an emotional connection to the music, like I do when something sounds absolutely amazing, and I had that goosebumps moment when that violin kicked in. So it really sounded great. And then I also just, with a lot of different records, like I said, not every record I have is audiophile. I put on Strange Days by The Doors. And of course, the song People Are Strange. I really loved the piano part in there. I enjoyed it, even through these small speakers. It sounded really natural, really good. The guitar sounded amazing and punchy. Of course, I loved Jim's vocals, dead center. And this was just an old version of this album that I have. So, I was loving the records and enjoying them. And, $299 speakers. I was really impressed for the price point. And I wanted to go ahead and take this a little further. And I realize this is a very unfair comparison, but I wanted to do it, and I'll explain a little bit more later. I took these speakers, the Vanguard Scouts, and compared them to another pair of speakers that I already own, the SVS Prime Tower speakers. I bought them many years ago. Back then they were $1,000. My husband and I did a lot of research and a lot of reading, and we did our homework and picked those speakers because we felt like for $1,000 they gave us the most bang for our buck. And with these Vanguard Scouts being at $299, I just wanted to know how they were going to sound compared to what is now a $1,200 speaker. The SVS Prime Tower speakers are now $1,200. So a $300 speaker versus a $1,200 speaker is not a fair comparison. But I wanted to do it anyway so that I could tell you what my thoughts were. So we conducted a blind test. My husband was in here and he set up the speakers. I would come in and I would close my eyes and I would just listen to the music. We did songs like Big Love. We did a song called Shape of My Heart, and it was streaming by Sting. We did the streaming version of it. We also did Alan Parsons' Project, the intro into Eye in the Sky, as well as Eye in the Sky. And I would leave the room and he would set a different speaker and I came in and listened. And after listening I discussed with Philip what my conclusions were. I told him, and he agreed with me, that I felt like these Vanguard Scouts were about 80 to 85% of the way there when it comes to versus those SVS Prime Tower speakers. I thought they delivered about 80 to 85%. And that's really pretty amazing when you consider the price differences and how good and how well regarded we think those SVS Prime Tower speakers are. So that just tells you the power of these $299 speakers. So, overall, I'm very amazed with them. They would be great for someone who has a small room, maybe a tight budget, maybe someone who just doesn't want to spend a lot of money. These work great, and they're very good speakers. So now I want to talk to you about the speaker giveaway, because the fine folks at Veri-Fi Audio is allowing me to give a pair of these Vanguard Scout speakers to one of my lucky viewers. Very generous of them, and I really appreciate it. And what I've decided to do is, here is how you enter. You can be from anywhere in the world. This is not strictly to the US, so you can sign up and you have a chance to win. They will send a pair of these Vanguard Scouts to wherever you are. What I need you to do is, in the comments below, make this the only thing in your comments. Speaker giveaway. That's it. Put it in all caps. And that way I will see it. And then if you want to leave a separate comment saying something else about this, that's totally fine. But to enter this contest, it needs to simply say speaker giveaway. And you have to be willing to be able to reach me on a different social media platform so that I can get your address, or you have to be willing to leave your email address to me, and I would delete it as soon as I got it. But most importantly, I think the safest way is for you to reach out to me on a different social media platform. I also have a timeline deadline. So this video will be coming out on April 29th, 2025 at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time here in the US. You will have 2 days to enter this contest. So any contest entries after April 31st at 11 Eastern Standard Time here in the US, I'm sorry, they won't count. It is a 2-day window, and all of you that enter this contest will have a chance to win, and I will announce it on my next video. So I'm really excited about that. I want to thank the folks at Veri-Fi Audio for allowing me to do a review of these wonderful speakers, and I also thank them for giving away a pair to my viewers. I'm very appreciative. And let me know if you have any other questions about these Vanguard Scouts. Please feel free to enter this contest. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. That's another thing. You have to be a subscriber of my channel to win. That's very, very important. Please subscribe to my channel if you're not already. Hit the like button, the notification bell. Most importantly, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.